We'll let them propagate for a second.
Make rockets go now.
Do a little bump here. Oh no. It's just my nose spray. And music. Okay. Alright, everybody stand by. I'm just making sure all the things are working correctly. Clearing our YouTube cache on the site. Come on. Oh, nice, it's already there. Cool. You see that on the site, that's good. I'm gonna go share all the things.
Deposit for both of these? Oh, it's so dumb.
Alright, bat signal's going out. That channel. Sent. Bat signal is out. Here's the link if you'd like to share it. Showing up. Oh, look at all these peeps here. All right. Chris H, Rick Bogus, 531, Grant, Tesla Rock. Chris H, you got here second today.
Oh,
Rick
man.
Bogus says monkey legs has been stuck in his head for 2 weeks.
Sorry about that.
Let's see. All right. Sure.
Slack now gets do not disturb for 3 hours.
Yes. True. Video. Share. Timeline. Alright. Got my dashboard and the things.
It's gonna be a sig wrap.
Let's go to our pretty faces. Alright. We're here. We are ready to go. I'm going to reset the stream. Make sure we got... not the stream. I'm sorry, the chat.
The chat.
We got some chats going on here. And say something, Matt?
Hello.
Okay. You sounded quiet for a second, but I think it was just...
Sorry.
No, you're good. Just check in. Just check in. All the streams are live. Listen to the audio. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Yep.
You ever had a client try to pay you by Venmo or Zelle or quick payment?
Nice.
What did this? Ah.
Means they don't have a credit card.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I need to send you the notes. That would probably be helpful. Real quick here. Dun 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 dun. Putting the notes in the dingus as well. And, all right. I'm going to start rolling here and turn off my metronome. Check 1 2. You are hearing me talk. All right. I'm rolling. Mathias, you rolling?
I am rolling.
Matt, you rolling?
Rolling with the homies. Ooh, I'm super blown out. Hold on. Volume mixer. Nope. Volume sound settings. Sorry. Device properties. Just switch this real quick. My levels are at 100. They need to be down to 70. 70. Okay, cool. Now I'm good.
All right.
Rolling with the homies.
You're all rolling. All right. We're going to do a sync right here. So, sync the audio. It's going to be 1 2 3 clap. Okay?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Wow, that was actually all on. That's the first time ever.
Not on my end.
Oh, it was perfect on my end.
Well, it's always going to be good
sounded
on
like
your
one
end.
clap.
Oh,
All right.
all right.
Latency. All right. Think we're good to go. Yes. You ready? Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Just retweeted all the things.
All the things. What up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is the man behind the scenes, the man who puts everything together. You may not know that, like, how much work this man does, but you've seen his work. From Maxon at Major VFX, Mathias Omotola. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, true believers. Good morning.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show, questions, comments, concerns, queries, or grievances. And I just wanted to put in there, make sure that you subscribe to all of our new channels, because if you haven't noticed, if you're trying to watch stuff on the old Mograph site, that is going away. We're cutting those feeds short. You're not going to get to see the stuff there anymore. I know lots of people are still watching over there, and you need to resubscribe, or else you just won't get any more updates on anything. And then you'll just not know how to do motion graphics anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
You won't know how to do motion
At all.
graphics anymore.
Like, you'll forget. It'll
Yeah.
literally...
Actually, no. All that information you've already learned from us
Yeah.
will be taken away
Yeah.
through magic.
It'll be deleted.
Yeah, you
Yes.
have to remain subscribed in order to keep your license to all of our brain food. So, a couple updates for the week that I wanted to go over real quick. This is going to be a short show, like we always say.
Maybe.
And
Because I have to load a truck.
yeah, you got to load a truck. We got stuff and things that we got to do. And a couple things I wanted to go over. Number one, Orville's up for an Emmy for their effects, which is awesome because I called
And
that.
they're moving over to Hulu full time.
Yeah, I think they're going to
Instead of
have more
their-
money with that too, right? Like,
Maybe. I don't know.
they got that Hulu money. And
That Hulu money.
that episode, I'm telling you, that episode, that two-parter with the crazy, not the one from the end of the year, but the one in the middle
Yeah.
of season 2 with the crazy space scene. It's one of the best space scenes I've seen on TV. So there's that. Also, I don't know if anybody's been watching Euphoria on HBO, but man, there's some really cool stuff that they're doing with cinematography. So I'm just gonna put that out there. It's
I watched Good Omens on Amazon Prime. Excellent.
Caught pieces
Super
of
good
it.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
good.
guys are making me jealous with free time. Like,
That's funny. This is what
Come on, work-life
I know.
balance, yo.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
this is what goes on the TV while I'm working. See, that's
Right.
the
Oh, right.
yeah.
That's why I bought a 55-inch TV to put above my monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
Two things at once. Yeah. Also, is anybody even checking out the Face app this week?
Which one?
The old. Everybody's doing the old photo of themselves.
I haven't done it. I don't like knowing how death is one of my biggest fears.
Mhm.
Like I don't like the idea of growing older. I don't like that I got a haircut the other day and I saw a lot of gray falling out. I don't like that my beard is super gray. So like being able to see myself as an old man scares me. So
It just means that the wisdom's coming in.
yeah, no. It means we run our own company is what that means.
Oh, all right.
I've gotten more gray and you've lost a lot more hair.
Yeah. Well, Liam says Russia takes your face. Yeah. I think it's funny that people are like, oh, Face app, they like take your information and use it for advertising. I'm like, you know what Facebook is, right?
Yeah.
You know, but whatever. Also, the podcast.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The podcast is on Spotify now. We had some weird technical issues. I've been trying to get it submitted for months, and I'm like, of traction on that, because I know a lot of people have been asking for that. So that's there. That's good. So you can just search for that on Spotify if you want to subscribe there. You can get rid of your iTunes that way. Finally. And Camp Mograph tickets are
Camp Mograph.
Yeah,
That's right.
got a little bit tickets left at this point. I want to say 20-something tickets, I think. So make sure that if you are planning to go, that you lock that in. I think that that's probably a good idea, especially flight-wise, if you're going to be scheduling that out to get that locked in soon. Also, a reminder, EJ Bendy Limbs contest. Remember the Camp Mograph post that we have all of the counselors and instructors and everything in. If you if you retweet that and make sure that you use the hashtag Camp Mograph, hashtag Bendy Limbs, and make sure that you add iDesign with that, you'll be entered to win a copy of the Bendy Limbs rig if you retweet that one particular tweet. We're going to end that at the end of SIGGRAPH, like when we come back from SIGGRAPH. And the Slack is going to be closing again. We had like 50-something people sign up already in a week, and I think we're going to cap it because we like people to know each other.
Yes.
And so make sure, if you are one of those new people that signed up, that you introduce yourself, and maybe in general, post a link to your reel, tell everybody what you're about, say, hey, I'm new here, this is what I do. Introduce yourself to the community, because we don't want everybody to just lurk. Come join in the fun. You know?
I mean, you can lurk if you want.
You can lurk if
that's
you
no
want.
fun.
But then we don't know who you are.
You can lurk if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't lurk, and if they don't lurk, then they ain't no friends of mine.
What has
That's
happened?
the song for the internet. Is that the that's the theme for the internet this week?
I might have to remix that one now.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. And I don't have much. We're going straight into Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
Just two things that I put on the show notes that are actually from you, Matt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just a note about Redshift VDB offset. And I don't even remember what that's about, being able to offset.
Me.
Oh, that it's a negative offset, remember?
Oh, yeah. We were doing some Redshift. We were doing some X particles to VDB and then bringing it into Redshift. And I wanted to do it at a certain point, but you needed to make sure that the offset, and you would think that you do like, oh, I want to offset at 2,000 frames. It's actually a negative number. For some reason, you put in a negative number. I don't know. So that was interesting.
And then Redshift proxy.
I will say, it was my first chance really messing around with VDBs in Redshift, and I really like that you're able to see them as points and stuff. And so as you're scrolling through your timeline and stuff, you can see them automatically updating. So, yeah, it's pretty nice.
And you
guys are farther along than I am.
We're really not.
I'm glad to be as far as I am on Redshift at this point. I'm starting to feel comfortable. So, the other thing is Redshift proxies, creating a Redshift proxy. Did you have some sort of did you have an issue creating a proxy or something like that?
Not sure.
You were just talking about Redshift proxies. Maybe the process, I don't know. I wish I could remember what you said.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Oh.
It was just...
I should have been more specific in my notes, I guess.
Yeah, you should have.
Sorry. Anyway... so let's just get on with the meat of the show, because we got a lot to talk about in topics today.
Do it.
This is the main section
Mathias
for the show.
Is a vegan vegetarian, so let's not get to the meat of it. Let's get to the mushroom of the.
Let's get to the Impossible Burger of it.
Let's get to the Impossible Burger of the show.
Let's get beyond this.
There
we go.
There you go.
Puns. That's right. That's what we do here.
Man, we even have a Beeple's People theme for that Beyond thing. So I think Beyond Burger will be the theme of the show.
Okay.
It'll be the episode title, right?
Sponsored by Beyond Burger.
I'm glad I didn't invest in them.
Oh, really?
Bank now. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're doing amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess the first topic of the day is going to be the SIGGRAPH lineup. We're going to talk about who's going to be there. There's a lot of fresh faces, so this is one of those things where we can really help everybody familiarize themselves with who's going to be talking and what presentations they might want to catch. I mean, I would say just catch all of them, of course, but
Right.
you can catch all the presentations at c40live.com. And
You can also see who is presenting as of right now. Go through and see everything.
And that's
So
kind
that's
of
cool.
that's what we're going to kind of do here. We're going to go down the list because Matthias, you know better than we do because there's a lot of people I haven't met before, and Matt hasn't met before. So,
well, before we get started, I just wanted to send a lot of love and prayers to the folks in Kyoto, Japan, and Kyoto Animation.
yeah.
For that tragedy that's happening there. So there's a lot of different things that happen in our industry, and that's kind of one of the biggest tragedies. So I just wanted to send a lot of love out to everybody there before we get started. And secondly, to all the true believers, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these folks, and that's all the Marvel fans. So Marvel Endgame is the #1 movie of all time. If you guys didn't know that, so congratulations.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, we can now all finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe.
We'll just put confetti up for it. There we go.
Half of the top 10 has been wiped out and replaced by Marvel films.
That's
so
funny.
now the entertainment industry is perfectly balanced. That's all things.
How long did it take you to write all this?
No. This is all out of the shower, and then
shower
all
thoughts.
All the fans of the movie with the blue people. I hope they remember you. I hope they remember you. You were a good film, like Fern Gully. Well, it was a very good film.
What's ridiculous is that Disney owns Avatar and Disney owns Marvel, so it's like
they only have 3 spots that they don't own. It's like Paramount and Titanic and something else. But it's Stan Lee, Jack Kirby and his wife, their wives, and everybody in the Marvel family, Excelsior, and thank you for all the inspiration. So that's why I'm here, because I am a true nerd. See, look at that. This is original.
Snap.
This is back in the '90s, folks.
Snap.
This is the original. Look at that. Also, the man who's also a spider. The doctor who's unusual.
Okay.
The men who are also exes and women that are also exes. All the classics. So,
X people.
Yeah, X people. Yes,
X people.
X people. Yes.
I think Bird Person will be in the X people.
Bird.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So okay, so your official title with Maxon is what?
Manager of Events and Community.
So you put a lot of this together. There's a lot of people at Maxon that work really hard to put these events together, but you are just running around 24/7 making sure these events are going off. And
producing all the events in the Americas. Yeah, from Canada to Chile. If it's, that's constant. It's constant.
So if you're
it's
watching live, yeah.
Because you got, working with artists and schedules, you guys know.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
And I can imagine that finding new artists has got to be kind of difficult. I mean, you're going to all these different places and stuff like that, but it's got to be hard to be and especially vetting the right ones, That's got to be a heck of a process. Yeah,
it's a challenge. I mean, one of the things is, yes, you have to make good art, right? So I kind of go off of, was it Neil Gaiman? He was like, okay, make good art, right? That's be good, be fast, and have people like you. And so that's kind of the thing is, if you're good, you do good work and you're able to show it instead of the fast thing. And, are you good with people? Because you guys have been at our events for years. You know what it's like. If you're a community player, you want to meet people, you want to network, you want to have a good time, definitely we want you there. If you're, somebody who's complaining all the time, you have just a bunch of negativity, you don't like to be around people, antisocial, just really negative, it's not the environment to take everybody down, because this is like a giant family reunion, Nobody wants the drunk uncle who wants to fight everybody there.
For sure.
Oh, and like we always say when we see this lineup is when these people are announced, because we have pretty good faith in your selection. So when these people are announced, we're like, well, these are all our new best friends on this list. These are all going to be our friends.
They
by
may
the end of
not
the week.
know. I may not know who they are, but they'll know who I am by the end of this.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. That Matt guy. So,
Whether you like it or not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna know me. All right.
Do you know me yet?
Let's talk about the lineup. I'm gonna bring it up here. We can go through and Matthias, just give us a synopsis of each person. And,
Yeah, for sure. So you guys know Billy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Billy actually, he was with us at our last minute quick tips at the end of NAB. So you did get a little, did get a little snippet of him. Gurn, she did get a little snippet of him right at the end of NAB. So after talking with him and seeing all that stuff, you guys are like, you have to have him in the crew. And I was like, well, he's already been here. He's already been on stage for a couple minutes. So yeah, let's do it. So
Yeah.
happy to have him joining.
Yeah,
Cool.
Billy's a badass. I'm very excited to see his presentation.
Yeah. Then so Blake Catherine, she actually came from Casey Lachelet from Buck. So one of the things that I've been working on, once again, perfectly balanced as all things should be, is I got I believe I'm at 50% women presenters, if not
Awesome.
just crossing that threshold. And she was one of the ones that Casey from Buck actually recommended. So checked out her presentation review. Really cool stuff. So you're gonna like it. Some good Redshift stuff too. So
Yeah,
Cool.
I started following her on Instagram. I totally love her style. Totally love her style.
yeah, really good stuff there.
Cool.
Oh, Brienne. Now Brienne is it's really cool because Brienne I met at Buck, but before that I actually met her. She was a student in David Baudeur's class at Ringling.
Cool.
And the year before she was at Buck, I did a presentation for her classroom via via Skype. So I was at Buck and she saw me. She's like, "Hey, I remember you." And I was like, "I have no idea who you are." Once again, another end game quote. I have no idea who you are. So that was another situation. She's like, "Oh yeah, you presented my class." I was like, "Oh wow." So it's great, seeing how the community, and yeah, she's there, and she's doing some really good character work too. So she goes through a whole character rigging
That's
thing.
awesome.
So I'm really excited about hers.
That's super
Cool.
awesome.
Now then you got this asshole.
I have no idea how he snuck on the line.
I know, right?
Yeah, what a jerk.
Well,
Have you reviewed my presentation yet?
I looked at it,
Okay.
but I think we've been looking at the project that you've been talking about for a while. So the field stuff and things like that are cool, and I think people are going to get a lot out of it. So I'll dive in tonight. I have a couple more, but the majority of people who submitted, I've got to review. But I'm not too worried because you'll get a lot more pressure from everybody in the community if you do bad than just
right?
us.
No pressure. No
For
pressure.
sure.
Yeah.
That guy. Oh man. Yeah. So he's gonna be showing you how to do the Toy Story button, the new Toy Story button that just came out. So we had a lot of demand for this. It's one button that just makes the animations that you're thinking about.
Makes
so he'll
Toy
be
Story.
announcing
That's
the
David.
Toy Story button.
Yeah, David McGavran.
Is that using like the Neuralink stuff from
Neuralink with Tesla.
Yeah.
Whole corporate
Great.
buyout weird thing, with neurotechnology of Tesla and Toy Story. So yeah, in association with all the major companies. Yeah.
Got to be careful about what you say. Someone's going to take it seriously.
It's like,
Right.
oh, they bought Pixar and Tesla. That's what they did.
Yeah.
Maxon's taking over. Antitrust companies coming at us right now. Shutting us down.
All right. And then we've got
Dave
how to.
McGavran, our CEO, though, by the way, folks, if you guys didn't know. Dave, CEO. So
Yes.
And
so these gentlemen,
you'll have to.
Duarte,
Yeah. You're gonna have to do the pronunciation on some of these people because I'm so bad at it.
Duarte Elvas, and Jake Allen they are from Swarovski. So that
That's
studio
cool.
out of Chicago, Swarovski.
Of
course.
Aaron's going to be at
Camp Mograph.
Camp
Camp
Mograph.
Mograph.
That's right. So yeah, they're going to be presenting some of their stuff. So that's exciting. Swarovski, if you haven't seen them, check them out. They've worked on some Marvel stuff.
Totally.
So love their work.
Cool. Next off.
This one, Emiliano. Yeah, Tapote.
I'm excited about this one. I started
man.
following what's the company? Polygoon?
Yeah, Polygoon.
I started following them on Instagram. Like their cartoon stuff is awesome.
I'm really excited. I wish he had a 2-hour slot. He's going to be doing a presentation in English, and he's also going to be doing it in Spanish as well. So it's a
Sweet.
nice focus. So
Sweet.
day one, he's going to present in English. Day two, he's just on our demo, so you can chat with him. And then day three, he's going to present in Spanish. Same presentation. Its character stuff is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, I watched I did his review, and it's really good. Tried to have him dive in because there's so many different things, how to extract it and give us some of those nuggets for people who aren't doing character animation. And he wasn't a character animator and didn't go to school for it, but he just really nails all the cartoon like poses. The way that he builds his rigs are really intelligent. The whole process. So yeah, Emiliano. He's presented with EJ down in Mexico's.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Kiritaro. Yeah, he's presenting Toro, Mexico with EJ before, and I've just heard great feedback. So I'm glad to have him on the stage.
cool.
Eric Small. Eric has presented with us a number of times at the Association of Medical Illustrators Conference. So this is great for anybody who wants to go on the micro level. If you go into the microverse, like Ant-Man or yes, everything's Marvel, man. I told you, I'm not going to stop. So yeah, so if you're into any of the microorganisms, atomic structures and things like that, this would be the gentleman to talk to. So definitely check out that.
Has he presented at NAB before?
He looks so
I
familiar.
think they've had Nucleus.
Yeah,
there,
he's
right?
been on our stage before for sure.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, NAB and SIGGRAPH at this point, I don't know. I'm like 10 years in.
Right.
It's a big blur.
Yeah, he's definitely he's been with us several times, and he's on Cineversity. James Ramirez. So James Ramirez actually worked on Into the Spider-Verse. So those end credits, so the end credits of Into the Spider-Verse, he worked on that. A number of other things, but I actually presented with him in Austin. So
okay.
yeah.
Was that at the party we went to?
Yeah, exactly.
Brian
so
Beams.
That was,
sweet.
Yeah. Brian Beams down there. So I was presenting, and then I saw his presentation. I was like, what? And then he was like, yeah, I'll cinema. I was like, all right, well, let's chat. And so we get to see some of the breakdowns of Into the Spider-Verse and some of the other stuff that he's doing with Redshift. Really good. I'm kind of learning Redshift from my presenters by watching the pre-presentations. This is how I do it. I'm like, oh, thanks. Making it a little bit easier. Oh, this guy.
Jan.
Oh man, this is one of Chris Brown's favorite.
Right.
So Jan Slandeko. So yeah, Jan is presented with us several times. He used to be at the Mill, I think, a while ago. He went freelance, but he's been doing these really cool, spaceman animations and just really great artist overall. So wanted to bring him back and maybe showcase some of his personal projects because I think so many people now are doing character stuff that weren't character animators. So there's going to be a lot of character stuff. So hopefully Jan's going to be able to show that. I haven't got a chance to review his. I don't think he's turned his in yet. Jan, if you're and everybody else who's listening to this, we got a week and a half. I need some time to build a booth. So yeah, please get that to me, Nancy.
Yeah, he posted his 4th Spaceman animation this week, and on his Facebook page, I just put a picture of Chris Brown like rubbing his hands, ready to get it, ready to steal it.
Got that new free stolen content.
All right, funny. Who's next? Jessica
Herrera. Uh-oh.
Mathias, did we lose you?
Did we lose you?
Oh, there you are.
Back?
There you are.
There you go.
There you are. I'll set a little marker here.
Hello, Dave.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Next up.
Yeah, so Jessica, all the way from the UK. If you haven't seen her Instagram, it's Herasaurus. And as far as character,
that's right.
Yeah. So as far as character animators, once again, another amazing character animator, all cinema pipeline, phenomenal stuff. I love her use of color and everything, but for character animation, cartoonic style, this is going to be a good one too.
She's presenting at NodeFest as well.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
I haven't got down to NodeFest yet. That's something else I need to get to.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love her style. She's done a couple of these. Like, there's this one of this character. I don't know, like with crazy hair, eating what bubble wrap and stuff like that. Oh, so good, so good.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Anyway,
and then next up.
Yeah, Lara. So Lara, actually, I met at the Denver meetup with EJ. when she was
Oh,
presenting.
okay.
So
Oh.
yeah, so EJ introduced me to her. He's like, oh, you should definitely meet her. Really amazing designer. She actually did my book cover. So
Oh, cool.
she's been an amazing designer. Just picked up cinema end of December. So
Wow.
I actually worked with her and like three other women who are just in After Effects and design, kind of testing out and how to help somebody learn cinema 4D as fast as possible. That's some of the stuff I know with Mograph.com, the class, putting together
Yep.
that with you guys.
Mhm.
Learning 3D fast. So I took her through like 12 weeks every lunch. I took my lunch hour to eat lunch and teach cinema.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, within there, then just getting them commercially viable. And she's done a couple really cool projects. Google picked her up to do this VR project, so she used cinema on that. She has this really cool base camp animation too, which is a perspective style animation. So I'm still working with her on her stuff. It's first time out of the gates, so like getting her caught up on terminology and things like that. But really good for beginners, but she covers a wide breadth of range from design all the way to VR within a year. So it's like I had to learn 3D and now I'm doing VR, and she's an amazing figure skater too. So
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
really?
yeah, super talented all around. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Sitting down with her, I'm like, oh wow, you're more talented, more athletic than me. You have your own studio. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I can help in some way.
Right.
Lyran. I like calling her Lyran because it's a cool looking name, Ashkenazi. So her style, if you haven't checked her out, was another name I believe from Casey as well from Buck. So he gave me, he's like, hey, there's a number of folks. I checked out her style, really dug it. I believe
Wow,
she's from
yeah.
Brooklyn.
I'm looking at her Instagram right now.
Yeah, so as
Super
far
bad.
as Sketch and Tune, so if you guys like Sketch and Tune style, she really dives in and gives you some really easy ways to create a lot of different looks using Sketch and Tune. I know EJ does that a lot too, so definitely check this out if you're into the Tune style. Her presentation was really rock solid right from the beginning. So I was really excited, and for everybody in the world of Tune shading, definitely check this one out.
That's awesome.
Marty, we had him back at once again. He was in Infinity War. I mean,
Mhm.
do I need to say more? So Territory, works at Territory. He's put together a lot of amazing things. So he's coming right from, so he's at Comic-Con, then he goes over to, I think he's at AE World, and then he comes right to us. I think him and
Awesome.
Robin Haddow have the same schedule. She's later
Is
on.
is
So
Comic-Con in the same convention center that we're going to be in?
no, Comic-Con's in San Diego.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
We're,
right.
we're in
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I love San Diego. Tell SIGGRAPH, go to San Diego. It's better
Yeah,
there.
he presented last year at SIGGRAPH, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Megan Newell. She presented with us in 2013. I can't believe how many years I've been here. Old in the game, folks. Old school. Yeah. So Megan presented. She went from traditional 2D to 3D, and her whole presentation is now on AR. She was at Lyft for a while, and she did a motion graphics presentation with us in 2013. But now she's showing AR pipeline as well as 3D printing pipeline. So if you're into AR and building content for AR, and if you're into building and modeling for 3D printing, this is going to be a great presentation
Cool.
for you. She has some cool, unique tools that I was wondering about. That she actually talks about. I think one of them is like Magic Merge that just helps you with
Yeah.
overlapping topology. It's like, yeah.
I've used that for 3D printing before. Takes all the guts out of your model so you can print it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I didn't know about it until I saw her stuff.
Yeah, that's super cool.
This gentleman.
This guy.
Yeah.
That guy. Screw that guy.
He's been doing daily artwork since before many of your kids were born.
Right? That is true. Holy crap.
Wow. That is true.
Dailies, so it's pretty awesome to have him back. So he's only going to be one day.
The people.
Yeah, so I still think we're probably going to need to find people to jump on the mic. So maybe you guys want to mic up with him.
Yeah.
Live Beeple's people.
Let's do live people's people. That'll be awesome.
Oh man, we can come up with like all the theories on the fly.
We gotta ask him what the story is for everything.
I don't know, guys.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Throw some spears in there and yeah. Yeah, not much
But
has to really be said about Mike, you know? I mean, it's going to be
the man,
great.
the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Min Shi. So she hasn't given us our information, but she's over at Elastic. I found her work a while ago when I think somebody in the office was like, "Have you seen this?" And if you've taken a look at her Instagram,
Whoa,
yeah,
holy cow.
same
yes.
themes. Yeah, so she does some really good. It has a like a darker theme. A lot of her stuff has a darker
Yeah.
theme. But when I found her, I was like, oh man, and she's in LA. I was like, wow, okay. I think she's over at Elastic, and she presented at
Th-
with actually Matthew from he's at the Future. Used to be blind.
Mhm.
Uh, at CTNX is a show in the fall,
hmm
and I had her present there for the first time. She just killed it. And it's so funny. Every time I have somebody present, all of a sudden I see them at like countless things. Like people are just
Right.
like group tapping all the presenters. It's like, oh, you're already pre-vetted from here. Okay, we'll just yeah. So she's been on a number of things, but Min's a really great artist overall. I
Yeah.
really like her.
What's the show in LA? Was it like back in February? I think like David Ariev was there. He wasn't presenting, but David went, and I think Barton was there. Like Matt, you and I wanted to go. It was in LA. I think
Yeah,
she
I
was
remember.
presenting that show, and everybody was just like going nuts.
Oh,
I can't remember
oh
the name of
yes,
that.
I can't remember either. But they went to a couple cities. I think there was like
Yeah.
France and Japan. Yeah, we were looking. I think we sponsored it the year before.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, she was at that too.
That's awesome. Yeah, great work.
Robin, oh,
Yay.
Robin is just
Motion
one of my
Design
favorite.
Plus. Sorry. Motion Design
Motion
Plus.
Plus
That's
Motion Design
motion,
Plus.
yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Or Motion Plus Designs. Yeah, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
Robin.
Robin, just one of my favorite people, regardless. Just one of the most beautiful energies I'd be around. Just uplifts everybody with her smile and her attitude, and she's funny and sarcastic and not, and it doesn't hurt, but you get the point. No, it's great. No, so Robin, I mean, she's worked on a number of Marvel films. Ant-Man the Wasp, Thor Ragnarok. It was probably one of my highlights of sitting next to her in a movie. I actually went to see
Oh,
Ragnarok
that's so
with her,
cool.
so I was like, I'm sitting here like shoulder to shoulder with Robin. I was just like, I'm such a happy nerd right now, and I was, and it doesn't stop. So any chance to bring her back, I was so happy that with her busy schedule, she was able to
She
join
is
us
super
again.
busy.
That's super. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to get her on the show for a while, but she's just always got so much stuff going on.
Yeah, and she should.
Yeah.
She
Oh
should.
yeah, for sure.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
Russ is the best.
Russ is another great artist, another huge contributor to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the folks over at Perception.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be joining us again. Can't say enough about him. If you've seen the Marvel opener in any of the most recent, films in the last, I forgot which one when they started it, but yeah, all those the flipping through and the zoom out of Marvel Studios, that was all them.
Yep.
So yeah, Perception will be joining us with Russ.
It's super exciting.
Shams. So Shams I met in Vancouver a while ago, and I've just been following on Instagram. She's come up to me a number of times, and you can check out her work. So very artistic, and she uses really intelligent techniques to be able to produce work really quick. So definitely check out her Instagram.
What's her Instagram? Do you know?
I will know in a second. It's hard to like if I could remember everybody's Instagram as long as their name.
Come on,
Right.
Mathias.
I know.
You can't.
It's so hard, and then you have to do these posts and stuff, and you have to at people, but like their Twitter's different than their Instagram, which is different than their
I think
Facebook.
it's S. McKenna.
There we go.
yeah.
Kevin's got it on the chat here.
There he is.
SMECCEA.
Yep. See, S. McKenna.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, check out her work there. So really good artistic styling. And then Victor. Another one from the Great North, the Great North Canada. So from Toronto, I saw his work at I think it was NAB.
Yeah.
He showed me what he was working on, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow,
Victor's got some super awesome space stuff.
Yeah, so really nice. And through his presentation, he was giving shout outs to a lot of, the different artists who inspired him from, Mitch Myers and Chad Ashley and, Raid Zero and David Ariev. So he mentioned a lot of other people, and you can see how all of those different styles went into the, contribute to him being able to bring together his stuff. So really like it. His use of scale. I'm a big person for epic shots. So we were talking about, VFX shots and stuff like that. And after seeing his stuff, I was like, oh, wow, a lot of people, especially since he's, kind of just starting off and diving in, he has a lot of things that I think anybody who's looking to do epic shots is going to really, pull from. They're gonna get a lot out of that.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that everyone?
That's everybody.
All right.
Man, it's a lot of people. How many? Is that? It's 21, right? 21 people from what I
20.
heard. I don't know if that's true. See, the whole thing is the Monday meeting this morning. They were like, you see, the whole thing is there's 21 people, and that's a code for something. And getting conspiratorial.
These people are so good at hacking all of our techniques. I mean, I can't even come on here. They broke the code. How did you know?
Yeah, Penny was like, see, the whole thing, the Maxon logo is actually flat, and so it's like flat Earth, and yeah, all the conspiracies are coming out this morning. Everybody wants to know what's this press event, things like that. It's funny, but so all right, so we did the lineup. Right, and now we need to. Now we got quite a few topics we wanted to hit today. Number one was exposure versus advertising.
That's right.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And this is a topic that I think the Monday meeting they're going to discuss next week too. So if you
we beat them.
First.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Gosh. Yeah, so this is something that Mathias, you and I were talking about a few weeks ago. We thought it would be a good show topic. So I don't know where you want to start with that, but
yeah, totally. Well, I think the big thing is just off the bat, there is exposure and there is exploitation, and that's something to be able to keep in mind. And we all have our own creative boundaries for that. So the thing that I want to encourage artists is when you look at exposure. Look at if it's exposure or exploitation. And this is kind of my take on it, right? Exposure is something akin to advertising when it's done correctly, right? Exploitation is when someone's trying to have you use your work, your skill, or your craft to spend time doing work and not get paid for it. So if somebody wants you to build an animation, logo, any type of design work, and they don't want to pay you, like, oh, can you just do this? It'll be good for you to do. Well, that's what school's for. You go to school to work on those projects. Yeah, do that while you're in school. When you're a professional, now you're going to be looking at, all right, I do this professionally. I should be compensated. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I do for a living. Great, let's do that. Let's not trade for blueberry muffins. Man can't live off blueberry muffins alone, even vegan ones. Right? So, that's when you're a working professional and people are trying to exploit you. Exposure, if you look at it from a business standpoint, Gary Vaynerchuk, regardless of how you feel about him or his style, he's very good at marketing. And he says get your stuff out there everywhere. So. A little while ago, I saw a reel submission and somebody was complaining like, oh, if you're going to be used for a reel, you should be compensated. That's, somebody's just trying to use exposure versus payment. And the way that I look at it is advertising, right? So you look at your work, and if it's work that you've already done and you don't have to recreate work, you don't have to spend hours doing it, you're just getting it out there. That's when you're starting to look at quality exposure, quality advertising of your brand. So I'm trying to encourage more artists to think of themselves as a brand, as Chris Do does, to look at yourself as a brand and as a business. And if you're going to, say, be nominated for an award show, like the Oscars aren't going to be like, hey, you know what? We want to nominate you for your movie. You're going to be nominated. And the movie you produce in studio is not going to be like, you're going to need to pay us to use our footage to represent the movie on your stage.
Right.
Otherwise, we're not showing up to the show.
Mhm.
You know, or if Oprah calls and says, "Hey, you know, I want to interview you about your book," like, yeah, but if we're going to talk about it and you're going to show a picture of it, I need to be compensated for that. Or Good Morning America, or
Right.
any vehicle that's basically just using work that you've already created. So if you've already made it, look at it as a way to advertise your brand. If you haven't made it, and someone's looking for you to create something, that's when you need to look for, okay, maybe this is more more
Yeah,
exploitation.
there's I mean it's interesting. We had a discussion on this on the Slack just this past week. AK Matt was talking about the AK AK 40
Yeah.
AK 15 AR 15. I can't
Was
remember.
it AK-47, right?
Guns
I
are
thought-
guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a really awesome animation, and a bunch of people have ripped him off.
Yeah.
You know, I think he had it was like 1,600 YouTube takedown notices that he had to go through. You know,
Yeah.
Wow, what did he make? I missed that one.
it was this super cool, like how an AK-47 works, and like
Oh, okay.
all
Yeah.
the intricacies of it and everything. Super cool animation.
The biggest
you
one
know?
was one in India that was like a movie that stole it and
Yeah,
put
it
it
was
in
a
the
movie that straight
It's-
up ripped it off for
Like-
their opening
Wow.
titles
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I mean, and he was saying that he was getting a bunch of emails and stuff, people saying, "Hey, can I use this for my YouTube? I upload other people's work so that they can, of stuff that I think is interesting, but I give credit to you." And it's like, okay, there's a big difference between
That's what a Tumblr's for.
Right. Right. I mean, the thing is, like, there's a difference between saying, "Hey, we would like to license your work. We're going to put it on our YouTube page, but we will pay you for that," versus, "Oh, can I put your stuff on my YouTube page, and I'll just link back to you." I mean,
Wow,
those
it
are,
was just his same piece. It wasn't even anything else.
yeah, no, it was just his same piece.
It wasn't even rebuilt. They didn't even do what movie studios do. Have you do all the work and then they just recreate it all themselves.
Right.
That's a concept artist like, yeah, this shot is perfect. Yeah, you're gonna put it in the movie? No, we're gonna rebuild it so we don't have to credit you.
That's fine.
Man. No, we had
That's-
a little bit of backlash on that when we did the second Mograph jam with Deadmau5, and
Yep.
there's a huge difference because we weren't asking people. We
weren't saying, first of all,
Yeah.
that you had to do it.
Yeah.
We were just opening it up to submissions because people wanted to the time before.
Right. They're like, well, we want to mess around with this. And we were like, okay, well, here's all the stuff. And they're like, oh, you want all this done for free. And, we get some, what was that Twitter account?
Nah, I'd rather not.
Picked us
Yeah,
up. And
we don't talk about
Yeah.
trolls.
No, the
Yeah.
whole thing was that this is for people who wanted to take the scene file and mess around with it. We didn't need what they were doing. We were already creating our own stuff. It's not like we were relying on a bunch of free work to make it happen.
Well, and I think that's the thing is when you reach out to the community and you ask for people to volunteer their work and they know how it's going to be, some of that might be inspiring. I mean, if Star Wars, if there's certain IPs that you want your brand to be associated with, right? That you personally as an artist might like. Just as people donate money, you can donate your time and skill to things that you just like. And it's not necessarily exploitation when it's voluntary. It's when someone's trying to coerce you. And
Right.
say, hey, this is going to be really good exposure and all this. And it's like, well, they're just trying to profit from it. But if it's just a fun, creative project and you're calling people out saying, hey, if you have work you want to put up, or if you do have free time and you do want to actually invest in creating something in a venue that's going to, be brand, positive for you and associate with you, and you can get your work put up there, that could be just something that feels good for you as an artist. So
Yeah.
it's more of a mindset to get yourself out of everybody who's asking for art isn't looking to exploit it. Some of them are just fellow artists working on cool projects.
I was
doing a
ecstatic,
project for
man.
Burning Man. Yeah.
I was ecstatic when Maxon put 1 second of something I worked on a demo reel a couple years ago. Like that was like, oh my gosh, like that's been my dream. And that to have that 1 second of, and then some people aren't into that,
Yeah. I mean, there's
I know
Go ahead.
one guy in particular. Sorry to interrupt. I know one guy. I've got a friend who is very, he keeps his work very close to him. He does not like putting it out there because he's too worried about someone stealing it or something. But to me, it's always like, well, if you do that, no one will ever know who you are. You know, you need to put your stuff out there. You need to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Yeah, sure. Some people are going to rip you off. Those are bad people, you know?
Yeah.
But you do quality work, you're going to get noticed.
Yeah, and the thing is this is when we are creating things from scratch and you're going to be working on a project, that's when you're using your professional skill. If you've already created something and now you're sharing it with the world, that is good advertising. It's kind of like being a furniture designer or something like that. Oh, I built my furniture, but I'm never going to let anybody see it. So
Right.
no, you want people to see your work and things like that. And to me, like, it's an honor. Whenever I get to work with any artist that I look up to, you know, sometimes I'll work and I'll hire some of my artists, they'll hire me. You know, Satine I work with back and forth. So Satine Phoenix, she does a lot of stuff with D&D. So we hire each other and that's really fun. You know, I was at a motion conference in New Mexico. I think it was like 2 years now with Robin and John Lepore. This was like one of my favorite times because they did a whole like recreation of war games. So it was like a full day. So we thought of, okay, what movie would be cool to recreate? So John started off, you know, recreating, you know, some concept art, and then Robin in the afternoon started recreating, you know, what the interface would look like for it, and then presented how you would pitch that to a movie studio. So it was like a great, just one day thing. And you know, luckily I was there in the mix, just being in the middle, and they called, you know, the new operating system Omo, and I was like, yes, like Omotola. That was my name. I was like, that was my shout out, and I was like, do they need to pay me for that? You know, if I would have went into that, I was like, no. It's like, so I think that's the thing is, you know, when you're doing just creative, fun things, don't allow all the exploitation that has happened to artists over time remove that sense of joy of creativity. And that's
Sure.
what I really want to encourage people is like, hey, there might just be fun things. Someone's asking to work on a Burning Man project. Is it profitable? Probably not. Is there probably going to be a bunch of pictures with your installation? Probably. Do you want to be associated with that? Maybe. And if so, work on it. It's fun. Like, don't make it so strict of, oh, as soon as I put my hand to paper, you need to pay me, or as soon as I touch a mouse or a pen, you need to pay me. So still have fun, guys. Still have fun.
Yeah.
It's like the FITC titles, right? I don't think people got paid for that. I don't think anyone got paid for that. It was all exposure dollars, you know, but that one got a lot of exposure, especially among artists,
did.
you know. We know who worked on it. We know which parts they did. It was an excellent piece.
That brings up a good point, and I believe Mograph should develop the exposure coin. So exposure dollars. So when someone says, and it should be like 2-to-1 to the US dollar. So when someone says, "Oh, you'll get plenty of exposure," like, are you thinking like 20,000 exposure or 50,000 exposure?
It's like
that's a lot of loot.
It's like internet dollars, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pay you an exposure.
And the other thing too is, like, you know, on social media, like, don't be that guy, you know, because there's always that guy that's trying to call it out for something that it's not. And you know, we had a discussion about this the other day too, and it's like, you know, you get a reputation for who your online persona is, and I think it's important to try and stay positive, because you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be negative Nelly guy. You don't want to be the person who is fighting with people all the time on Twitter. And, you know, because what happens when someone's like, oh, well, this person says he's available. Oh, that guy. You'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to work with that person.
Oh, and, you know, I think it's really important in our community to have an online persona that really shows that, you know, you're easy to work
it's
with.
Also, it's like when you're going for a job interview, if you don't think that they don't look at your social media accounts and stuff like that, it's the same if you're freelancing, you know. If someone says, you know, blah blah blah, check out this person, you know, they're open for work, and I go and look and I see it's just a bunch of negative, you know, bad mouthing people, I don't want to work with them.
Yelling at
They're going to be hard to
CEOs
work
of companies
with.
and, like, you know, upset that, you know, they're not releasing quick. And I mean, you know, it's like, and that's all you see. You're like, man, that's kind of a bad
Yeah.
juju.
Yeah, it's one thing that I strongly recommend. If you are not a happy person, try and work on that. There's a lot of different things. I got there's books on it and everything else. Like, try and get more joy out of life. You don't want to be miserable. There's no benefit in suffering. Just suffering to suffering isn't a thing, and your reputation is priceless. Like, guard it with your life.
For
'Cause
sure.
seriously, back in the day, I mean, defamation, and you ruin somebody's character, like, that can ruin a career. You can get people blacklisted. I mean, you see it now online. I mean, somebody starts a rumor or a lie or anything like that, and people all of a sudden their whole careers get ruined.
Yeah.
So the big thing is, be in the positive. You want to be workable, and that's one of the things. Be just an absolute, lovely person to work with, and people are going to work with you.
Yeah.
Totally.
So let's talk about the roadshow a little bit too.
Upcoming. So this is the Motion Design Tour. It's not even a road show anymore. It is so big now, and I can't even. We're not live yet, so I'm gonna wait to give any domains and stuff. But I know we were looking at you guys
the first
being
thing I
media
did was
sponsors.
Google
Yeah, like, here it is.
Design
Here
Tour.
it
I
is.
was like, ah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'll kick that out as soon as it's there. But it's going to be like 24, 25 cities globally. Adobe. So as far as some of the big folks on board, so it's going to be Adobe, Maxon, Dell, NVIDIA. Talk to GSG guys. You're involved. You guys as media sponsors. LinkedIn's going to be giving away stuff. Redshift, Adobe. So this is going to be the biggest creative tour on planet Earth.
Cool.
And
Nice.
I already have EJ, Chris Schmidt, so EJ Hassenfratz, Chris Schmidt. Perception's going to be at some of the cities. Andrew Kramer, I talked to. Video Copilot is going to be at, sponsoring Grayscale Gorilla. So it is so big. I can't talk about it other than go to it.
Yeah.
If you're an After Effects user, you're a Cinema user, Maya, like any program, definitely go to it, because the techniques are going to be like, this is a game-changing roadshow. Like 25 cities everywhere from, like, I think 11 in North America, 3 in Canada, and another 10 in Europe.
Yeah.
All
I will
from
say,
September to December.
When you guys did the road show, the last set of road shows or whatever, that one kind of changed our whole career, because that's where you and I hung out for the first time, And so, like, I flew out to Washington, D.C. to hang out with Ariev, because he was presenting. So I was like, all right, blah, blah, blah. I want to present it at NAB.
Yeah.
Little did I know 4 months later, 5 months later,
There's a question in the chat too about streaming. Is anything going to be streamed, or is this just?
It will not be streamed. So get tickets. Like, it's going to be, if you're in North America or Europe, it's going to be fair. There's going to be a stop somewhere close to you.
Yeah.
So get tickets right away, because we're locking in venues. We're still on the last couple venues. So once it's announced, once tickets are sold out, it's sold out. And the value, this is what I can tell you. The value of the free things just for entering and getting a ticket is already 4 or 5 times the ticket price.
Nice.
It's the value. So
Nice.
it's like, I think they were looking at 95 US or 85 euro. And what you're going to get right out of the door on software is already like $200-300.
Well, and
Wow.
as media sponsors, we're also going to be doing constant updates too about what cities are coming up, and all the information on that as well. So.
Yeah, it's a project. So there's going to be 2 parts. There's going to be the design aspect that's going to go through the illustration pipeline and more of creating stills, and which would be great for people who are doing 2D product design and things like that. And then there's the whole motion component, and the motion graphics component is a project that Perception actually is putting together. So they're putting together that project. So we're going to showcase that in a couple of those different scenes in each of those different cities, and then we'll have a keynote by an industry-leading artist. It might be one of the people who actually presented and did the little presentation on the motion graphics or the 2D part, or it might be someone completely different. So we got Hondo Eugene. It's going to be right after Blend Fest. That's one thing that Hondo Eugene, he's going to be one of the presenters, but I'll probably have like 3 or 4 different people in Vancouver, just because so many people will be there for Blend, and we're going to be right after that. So if you couldn't go to Blend, get this ticket, because I couldn't go to Blend.
And you couldn't get that ticket, then come to Mograph.
number one, just come to Camp Mograph.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
True.
an easy one. It's like go outside, folks. We need
Right.
we need some sun. We all need a little sun.
Right.
Man, I went golfing. I went golfing this weekend. I took my kid to the driving range. I've been teaching him to golf. Just talking about going outside. I had a migraine like that lasted 4 hours after I went outside for an hour. Like I got to get out more.
Maybe you got allergies or something.
I think it was allergies and like I didn't have enough. Like I must have been dehydrated or something.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get outside. I'm excited about that. That's
No more
cool.
negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else with that we want to talk about, or we'll just stay tuned, right?
Yeah, when it comes to that, stay tuned. I mean, because you guys are in the know. So as soon as we announce and things like that, we'll get it out. But the biggest thing that I could say is get your tickets as soon as they come out. These cities are going to sell out immediately. So that's it. Be on the lookout. You're going to see it on our socials channels and stuff like that. Especially if you're, an After Effects user and you haven't dived into cinema yet, and you're like, okay, you're kind of on the fence. This is, I want to go into 3D, but here it is. Dive in there. It's going to be a huge social networking event too. And that's live social networking. It's not just, online social networking. So it's going to be great for you in your city to be there as an artist, because you're going to be able to connect with the community when people are looking to get hired, or their studio heads are going to be there. So yeah, it's going to be where you want to be. If you can be at one place besides Camp Mograph, in addition to Camp Mograph, not in addition to it.
Yeah.
You definitely want to hit up the motion design.
Is there going to be a separate website for it and everything for people to get info when it comes out? So, okay.
We're working with FMC, so the makers of AE World and Keyframes. So they've done a number of conferences. So luckily, I got some help on this one, guys. It's been nice. Pretty nice. 'Cause it's a hell of a production.
Yeah. And you're going to a lot of those.
Yeah, I'll probably take care of all of the U.S. and Canada most likely.
Man, you're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a busy year.
Okay.
It is a busy year.
How do you handle so much travel?
I get to hang out with my favorite nerds. You know that.
All right. All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's like when you think about it. So I get that's the case. So it's not stressful. I do a significant amount of preparation work. So I have to, once I get the presentation down, most of these cities now, I'm like 10 years in, so I already know where to go, how to get there, and like as soon as I touch down, I feel like, all right, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually connecting with a local anyway, so it's like, oh, cool. Up in Vancouver, I got 3 or 4 people to connect with. I'm in Toronto. I'm with Noseman, so I always have somebody. So it's I'm never too far from home, and that's what I feel with our creative community is when you actually really tap in. There's people that you might have a great relationship with online that you have a beer with, or you sit down and have a vegan sandwich with, and you feel great. Have a Beyond Burger. It's great.
Yeah.
Is Noseman going to be around, by the way, at SIGGRAPH?
Yeah. He'll be there. He's not presenting, but he'll be. 5 different companies asked me to staff their booth.
That is absolutely insane. When you were telling me that, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So in addition to what I do for Maxon, other people were looking, and I love them because they're all great companies. But the thing was, I couldn't it was all within like 4 weeks of the show too. So, so I do have a couple artists floating around in different places, and now with Redshift and that's a whole nother thing, trying to make sure that we have Redshift artists, and so it's good though.
Yeah, and for people who are actually coming to SIGGRAPH, there's going to be other things that aren't live streamed that you can check out as well, right?
Yeah, totally. So if you are coming to SIGGRAPH, one of the partnerships that we do have going on is with Intel and Box. So took over actually, or working with them on half of their booth. So half of the Intel booth is going to be Intel, Box, and Maxon.
Wow.
And so we're going to have secondary presentations there. So aside from the main stage and all the presenters that you have there also a lot of people are going to be presenting on that stage 2, or the Intel stage. So in that cool. Intel Box stage, they're going to, day 1, some people who aren't presenting on day 1 are going to be presenting back there. So you can be able to catch them. Also, David Brodeur is going to be doing presentations, and Mark Pototnik, other 2, another high-end folks. and Grayscale Gorilla. They're going to do a quick presentation at the start of the show too. So yeah, so it's going to be nonstop. It's going to be nonstop.
It's awesome.
That's super awesome.
Yeah. And we'll be doing a podcast as well on Monday night. Still working out the details of that, but it will be at 10 p.m.
Fingers crossed.
California time.
You know.
Somewhere. We're going to be somewhere doing a podcast at that point. We just don't know where yet. So a couple other topics I wanted to bring up. Number one is there was this meme going around on Twitter, and it's something that I guess Ryan Summers picked up on and was commenting on a little bit, and it's this meme.
Uganda Knuckles?
What?
Uganda Knuckles? No?
That one's months ago, dude.
Yeah.
That one's way been past.
Yeah.
That one's already being hit up in our nostalgia.
Yeah, that's hours old.
Yeah.
No, this was something that engineers were. This was a meme among engineers, like a 10x engineer or something like that. And some people were kind of translating that to motion design. Like, I'm a 10x motion designer, and basically saying that I'm one person doing what 10 people would do. You know, you back in the day had like predators, you know, that evolved from editors and producers.
Apex designer,
Yeah.
Apex motion designer.
I'm a 0.5x, you know, motion designer.
Right. But there were all of these things going around because it's like, I guess the question is, in this industry, you don't really hear as much about it because I think people just kind of get their heads down and get their work done. But you know, now as a motion designer, you're doing all these other things. I mean, even when it comes to stuff like sound design, you know, some people are doing sound design as well on top of the animations they're doing, which I personally love doing. I love adding sound to the projects that I work on because it feels like it really brings it all together. But there was this whole topic of, on top of that, on like what is happening now with rates in the industry. There's been news going around, especially in the last couple of days, about places closing, you know, or not necessarily fully closing, but shutting certain offices, shutting their doors, things like that. And why is that? Is it overhead? Is it the industry as a whole? Is it sales? Is it things changing? And so, on the Monday meeting this morning, it was a topic as well, and it was the topic of rates falling. Why are the rates falling? Things like that, and you know, there's no one good answer. I guess it might be a combination of things. Some people say, well, that's not really happening. It's just you're hearing more about it. I thought it was a good topic to bring up. You know, and my one thought on it this morning on the Monday meeting was, well, I said, you have a woman named Karen, you know, Karen, of course. It's another internet meme. Matt, you don't know the Karen meme? Oh, man.
I don't know.
All right. But
I thought you were referencing Karen from our old job.
Oh, no.
She was awesome.
There's
oh my gosh.
No, Karen on the internet is like a imaginary person she has a specific haircut and always calls the manager. I don't know why that's a meme. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Freaking Karen.
I think Karen.
But Penny brought up, you know, there's some things that kind of feel like graphic design. You know, you have those print design shops and stuff that are super cheap, and someone is in there in the print design shop making like minimum wage, and or not even that. You know, Karen's friend or a nephew or something can do a little graphic design and designs her a really bad logo for her pet grooming place. And the pet grooming place is going to do great or bad no matter what that logo looks like. So she doesn't care that she's paying $50 or $100 for it. And you got things like Fiverr. And there's this feeling that a lot of people have with motion design that that's where some of it is going. And my thought was like, you know, you've got those people who can't tell the difference between good and bad design, so they're going to go with the $50 design. And
I think personally, it's all about. I mean, you get what you pay for. You know, most of the time you get what you pay for.
But what if you don't? If you're hiring, know the difference.
So say,
you know,
what?
What if you don't know the difference? You don't know if it's bad or good.
I think some people know. Like, I think we've been inundated with good design so much that people, you know, the stupid saying, I don't know design, but I know it when I see it. You know,
Right.
it's dumb, but I think some of us actually have that in our brains and can see when something is nice and when something is wrong.
Totally. Well, I think the one thing that we're approaching, and this is something that I mentioned a while ago, as we start picking up all these tools, it's kind of like the Renaissance, right? It's a millennium
I like
renaissance,
that.
I
right?
like it.
I like
Since
that.
Good.
since then, we're all Renaissance men and women. So we're doing, sculpting, we're doing design, we're doing, working with color, light, all the different tools we're working with it, and there is huge competition. But just like anything else, it's okay, if I'm just looking for something quick because I'm just getting started as a business and I don't have any budget, I'm going to look at some of those other places because I'm just getting started. But then once you're actually looking at establishing a brand and a feel and identity, then you're going to be able to start asking those more sophisticated questions and you're going to be working with more sophisticated designers. But I think so many people are just trying to start a business, right? So how many people are trying to start a business? Right? Everybody is like, oh, yeah, you want to be an entrepreneur. This is how you make your big money, start your own business. And it's like, great, let's start your business. How much is it going to cost for a logo? And everybody goes and it's like, everybody sets the rate at $10,000. $10,000 for a logo.
Yeah.
What? It's like, okay, well, I'm starting my business. I can't do that. So then the rates keep going down. So for a lot of people starting off, it's like, all right, I'm just going to get the bare bones to get off the ground. And then once I get moving, then you're going to start upping the quality. You're gonna start doing that. So everybody's trying to start a business. Not all of them are going to be successful. And if you spend all the money on design, it still doesn't mean you're good at sales. So a good design can help you sell. But if you don't know what you're doing with that design and you don't know how to capitalize on it, that's when we can really start helping to guide. And I know Christo does a good job of this. He talks about how to, sell yourself in it and help the person who's actually looking to consume. Right. And I think that's part of, as far as the mission of, Mograph and everything else is to help educate the community of the value of good design, to be able to reach out and let people know like, hey, it makes a difference to hire a quality artist that you're going to work with. It makes a difference that, people who know what they're doing and they're good to work with versus somebody that is going to drive you insane.
Well, the other question, though, is from the other perspective, these people who are undercutting themselves when they shouldn't be. The people who are making, who are charging $100 day rate, and the people who, and it's even worse in other countries. Somebody on the meeting this morning said that somewhere they were working at one point, it was the equivalent of $500 a month for working motion design. And how do we keep it from driving down all the rates as a whole? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I do not know if that is possible. Like when it comes to competition, that's the whole thing. We're in a global market now. So I think you can create, I think there's guilds that can be created and things like that to keep a standard. And, a lot of people can do it, but there's always going to be somebody that will do it for less because if they have the time and they have the resources, what's to say why not? You might want it to keep the rates high, but yeah, if you're in a third world country and you have, an old computer, but you don't have work, our dollar can go far. So yeah, you might just plow on it. I don't think we can avoid it now that we're more universally connected this way.
With the people here who are going for $100, $150 a day, I might have said an hour earlier, a day, $150 a day, you're undercutting yourself, you're undercutting other people as well. And does it need to be a campaign, an awareness campaign?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think there's a certain amount of education that comes with that. Like people need to be educated that hey, these are more along the lines of standard industry prices and stuff like that. I think Joey's book, the Freelance Manifesto, did a fantastic job of opening up that conversation because people were afraid to talk about day rates. Then. Like they weren't sure what was a good day rate and what wasn't. Me too. I didn't know whether I was charging the right amount because at one point I got laid off from the job that Dave and I were working at, and I went freelance. Now I was charging like $30 an hour, which is okay, but not for the skill set that I was bringing, and I didn't know what a good day rate was. Exactly. And so I start talking to some of the other people, the other freelancers, like, hey, what's your day rate? Oh, it's $65 an hour. Okay, I'm really undercutting myself because I see them hiring you just as much as they're hiring me. So it's
Right.
not like they're hurting, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It wasn't until I was educated to know what those prices were that I was able to feel more comfortable with raising my rates. Because you have to understand the people who are running businesses, they know the rates. You know, it's the people who are freelancing who aren't going through and like talking to people and educating themselves about what it should be, that they're the ones who are getting taken advantage of.
Yeah, totally. Manor, we will announce where the tickets are. By the way, I'm just looking
Oh.
at some of the chat.
Yeah.
Bob, yeah, hello, good evening, and Amy, hi, Amy. What's she doing on chat, Matt?
She
has her on her phone.
she puts the live stream on the TV and lays in bed and watches it.
Hi, Amy.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey
So,
Bob, I got a question about XP Explosion. No, seriously, I do, because I ran into this issue. So if I'm moving my XP Explosion really fast, like my source, I get it. It's like segmented. What am I doing wrong?
That
All right, now we
sounds
can go
like
on
your
with the show.
your sub steps.
I tried that. I tried upping my sub steps to like 50, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do, and I still
Oh,
got the same
I'm
same
surprised
result
you
every
didn't
time.
crash going to 50, but
I was surprised too.
all right. Well, who from X Particles is going to be at SIGGRAPH? We'll arrange a meeting
Yeah.
to take care of your explosion, all your
It's
explosion
all right.
questions.
That project's already done. I
Oh.
don't care.
Yeah, that's another story for another time.
Yeah, good riddance. Don't
Oh.
undercut yourself. Don't
Yeah.
undercut yourself, because you never know who you're going to be working for either. Normally you got to be really selective about the what you think could be a unicorn and rainbows situation, because it may not be a unicorn and rainbows.
Right.
It may be that you're just undercutting yourself and you're going to have to deal with the same
Right.
pain project.
Say no to
You know.
low.
Say no.
That's the new motto. But all right, next topic. I thought there was no use for procrastination in the world until
Noseman would say differently.
Oh, yeah, Noseman would say differently. He says thrive on your procrastination. I found a way to
Yeah.
be productive in my procrastination, or to use it to my advantage. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I think there was a related topic that was on Back to Work with Merlin Mann a couple weeks ago that just made me start thinking about it again. This is that when you become overwhelmed, this goes back a little bit to the mental health thing that we talked about with Casey. When you become overwhelmed with the amount of things you have to do, or the amount of problems that you have, or things going on in your life, when does that usually hit you? When does it really hit? When you got a lot of stress. When you really
When
start...
you're overwhelmed.
Yeah, when you're overwhelmed and you got a lot of stuff going on, when do you tend to think about it the most? About how bad it is and what you got,
Well, if it's a personal thing, to me, it's like if a little thing bothers me, because most things
Right.
I take are like it just rolls over the shoulder. But I'm like, all right, something little, and now I'm like frustrated. Then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm at my capacity, because this would never bother me. This would never bother me, and now I'm making a big deal out of it. And just because it's disrupting my flow, yeah.
But what time of day? Let's see. You have all this stress. You have a lot of things on your mind that you have to do. What time of day? For me, it's generally at night when there's nothing I can do about it. It's generally that laying in bed thinking, I got to do this and I got to do that, and oh my gosh, how am I going to get this done? And what about that thing that person said today that's really bugging me? And that kind of thing. It's like you're laying in bed, and that's when it all just like comes flowing through.
That's why we meditate.
Yeah, right.
That's why
Absolutely.
we meditate.
Absolutely.
I got a book about it.
Yeah.
I got a book about it.
Well, my thought on this was I've tried this a couple times, and a lot of people will say, oh, well, it's just not that easy. But I think that it might be something that might be easier to do with practice. I mean, this also applies to the meditation thing, really, which is procrastinating your stress, procrastinating your worries, because at 11 p.m. I have to continuously tell myself one thing when that comes up in my brain. There's nothing that you can do right now about that thing. Okay, so you can worry right now, you can worry all night, you can not get a good night's sleep, and you can also worry about it tomorrow. But tomorrow is the day that you're going to be able to handle it. So there's something, I know it seems super easy to, you know, it seems super simple. But for me, I've been doing this practice of procrastinating the worry until a point when I can actually do something about it.
Like you'll say, I'll worry about that tomorrow.
In not so many words. It's a little bit, but it's still, you'll say, I'll worry about that tomorrow, but your brain is still thinking about it. You know, you still have the stress. You're still feeling stressed. And it's taking it's really not the action. It's the feeling that you have. I'm going to procrastinate this sense of impending doom on my stress level until tomorrow, because tomorrow is the first time I can do something about it. So right now I'm going to go to sleep because that's what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think order of operations in that sense is really useful. It's like, okay, sleep takes higher priority. So one of the things, if I'm really stressed and there's a lot of things, I make sure to pull out a piece of paper and write them down. Because then once it's down, I feel like I've already done something about it. When it's in my head, it's like I can do. My mind is too creative, so then I can take the problem and extrapolate it into a million other problems and a million other complexities. But if I just put it down, I'm like, okay, there's this. Okay, that's all there. Okay, cool, done. Order of operations. It's like, okay, that's.
Sometimes you got to be careful with that though. You write it down, and then you're like, okay, everything's done. Sweet. You know?
No, I didn't cross it off.
It's a to-do list.
If it's on a list, it gets done. If but it needs to be crossed off.
Yeah.
If the list exists, it's just existing as a list until it's crossed off.
See, I had that same situation where I was like, so I had this idea for a script in my head, you know, and I was thinking about it every single morning on my drive to work. And I was like, I have got to stop thinking about this. I have to write it down. So I wrote my stupid script. I spent like a week and a half. I did a 90 or 100 page script, right? And I never touched it again.
And
but it got out of my head. It got out of my head. It's a shame because, you know, I spent so much time and energy thinking about this script to like not do anything about it afterwards. To just get it out of my head. Now I don't even know where it is. I think I saved it on an old computer, and it's okay, all right, whatever.
It's your
I got tons of stuff in the cloud.
Your outboard brain is what a lot of people refer to that, writing things down. The thing about when something goes through your head like that, like I got to do this thing, or I'm stressed about this thing, or whatever it is writing it down kind of stops that closed loop that's in your brain. It's going over it over and over and over. It's giving yourself the green light to go ahead and stop thinking about it, because you're not going to forget. I think your brain is trained to think, I'm going to forget about this if I don't stop thinking about this.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
And it's procrastination used for a positive reason.
Well, it's like you haven't hit the save button yet, right?
Right. It's just in the cache.
Your brain's like, it's just sitting there. It's like, are you going to save this or what? You write it down. It's like, okay,
it's in RAM.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
in your RAM.
Like and so then when you try and sleep, your whole circulatory system's like, it's overloaded. And that's one of the big things is it's an electromagnetic system. So if all of your, you're firing constantly, it's like, no, you need to clear the RAM. Okay, let's save that on long-term storage. Just go ahead and put that on paper. And then go ahead and shut down.
Yeah, totally.
So just act like a computer, everybody. Your whole life will be better. Just become a computer.
I mean, if Elon has his way.
Man, I can't wait for that. I think it's going to be excellent. I think it's going to be awesome. Like, I can't wait. Like, honestly, if people look at the Star Trek world and they think the Borg are the bad guys, I think the Borg are the good guys. Honestly. Like, there's no hate. There's no fighting amongst the Borg, you know? And they're just trying to, you know, make everyone understand each other.
There's no individuality anymore either, though.
Who cares? Individuality is overrated.
What's that going to do to our rates, though, guys? What is it going to do to rates?
It'll be the same rate across the board because everybody understands what you're worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Across the board.
There it is. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's Mixta says on the in the chat, the GTD system by David Allen, which is he's got his book and everything. Just copyright David Code 2001. And it's a Merlin Man joke. But you've got, Matthias, you got a book coming out.
I do at long last. It's been, man, when you try and do something new, I tell you, so many weird things show up. So many weird things show up. So yeah, the 5 most important things you don't learn in school is I'm finally just getting that out to and actually Laura, who's presenting, Laura Katawowski, she's going to be, she actually helped me with the book cover. So thank you, or thank her. You'll see her. So thank her. So this is covering all, some of the major things that we're talking about now, and that's communication, relationships, health in the human body, how to make money, how to manage money, and the legal system, and how to put that all into balance and work those systems in your life so you're not constantly stressing and not knowing what you should worry about, but giving you systematic approaches and understandings to each of those systems to make sure that it's working with you so you can live a healthy, happy, successful, internally successful life. And it's like a simple guidebook that I really wish I knew going into high school, because I feel that's the curriculum for high school, because all the history and everything else, now all that's going to be rewritten because of deep fake and everything else. So history's all going to be gone. But it's still going to matter if you're making money. It's still going to matter the legal system, your quality of your relationships and taking care of your body, your new Borg body. You're going to have to work on all those things. So that's in. That should be out. I have to find out with the publisher. But right now, I just sent it over to Chris Doe. He's writing the forward, which I'm so excited about. He does so much for the community, and I'm sending it out to a number of folks this week for final beta reviews. So I'll be getting feedback on that. Yeah, I'm sending it out to you guys, especially, parents. That's my big thing is like parents, so you're not overloading yourself with all the other extraneous things that we think about in a day that might not fall into the major categories, that are just these smaller things that just pile up and say, okay, are these major systems in place? Is my health well? Is my family's health well? Are we legally in a good position? Is our money coming in well? Are we managing it well? How is my relationships with the people in my family, my friends, my intimate relationships? Are those things good? Okay, cool. I can breathe, because we were taught to focus on just wrong things in school. Then we get it to adulthood. We spent so much time focusing on all these other things. We get into adulthood, and we're not. Our mind isn't trained on what we should be thinking about. That really gives us good quality of life. So therefore, then since we don't think about those quality of life things, we end up running a deficiency in those areas. And we don't feel a good handle and connection on it. So that's what this book is geared to do. That's my whole thing, is to change the education system. So cool. I got to reach out to Marianne Williamson. I know she's running for president. Be like, Marianne, this is what we need. New core curriculum.
Yeah.
Get this installed for everybody.
Yeah.
And you can find on MathiasOmotola.com. So you can just sign up on the my mailing list there. So as I come out with different things, this is what I'm going to be talking about. But it's all about quality of life. It really is.
Cool, man.
Cool. Well, I wanted to get to links, but I only have one link, so I'm just going to throw this up.
I have a link as well. Go ahead.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the link you sent me this morning?
No, it's a new link.
Is it a link to the past?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been playing that. I played that all this weekend. Like,
nice.
Dude, I freaking love that game. It is the best Zelda game ever.
Well, I got that in there.
My wife was watching me play it, and she goes, how do you know exactly where to go? It's like, dude, I have put well over 500 hours into this game. I know exactly where I need to go.
Speed running.
Yeah, right?
Dude,
I can beat it in 5 minutes.
Really?
There's a secret to it. Yeah, there's a secret where like so you go through like at the very beginning, you go through the main little area, and then once you get into the castle, like you have someone hit you or something and it knocks you into a wall, or as you jump off, you save it and then quit and then start over. That puts you at like a different level than what you're supposed to be, And so then when you get hit, it pushes you through the wall and then you just walk to the end. It's a really cool speed run. It's a super cool glitch. Anyway.
Good glitches.
I am so obsessed with Mario Maker 2 right now.
So good.
And here's the thing, like I love doing the there's some really fun levels in there. I love doing the endless play, and if you just want something fun to do during the day and you want to have like that fun feeling like of that little like, you know, shot of what do you call it?
Endorphins.
Endorphins. Do endless play on levels that are almost too easy
Like
for you
super
to play.
easy.
Yeah, because you go play like 30 levels and you're like, oh, I did a really good job at this. You know,
Yeah.
and you just get through it and it just goes forever. It is so much fun. You find some really
I like
creative.
the levels that are 20 seconds or less.
Uh-huh.
And you have to figure out exactly, like, you have to play it perfectly. Those are my most fun levels, you know, where it's basically you just run the whole time and like you've got to hit everything correctly.
The one that I sent
fun.
you with all the icicle things dropping that
Yeah.
where you had to get all 120 coins and do everything exactly right. I've beat it twice now. Just I had to make sure I could beat it again. You know, but
That's funny.
So much fun.
Yeah, I've just been seeing that in the background in tech support.
Yeah.
One of the guys has it on a second screen. I was just like, oh, what is this? Like Mario Maker 2. It looks good.
So good.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
So
My
good.
kid, like, because they got a 2-player mode where you can make stuff, and he's like, "Oh, come on, let's play." And I was like, "No, you're terrible at making levels." And he just like grabs bad guys and throws them all over
Everywhere.
the place. I'm like,
1,000 bad guys.
Yeah.
That's what we do
he's
here.
like, "Here, Daddy, beat this." I'm like, I can't. I
Yeah.
literally can't. You're
It's just
dropping
raining
Bowser
bad
on
guys.
top of me the second I get here.
Well, yeah. I mean, to submit it, you have to clear it. So, you know, that's
Right.
Yeah. My daughter made I might have talked about this last week, the Flappy Kitty.
Yeah.
That's like Flappy
Yeah.
Birds, but you got to be the Mario cat. You know, and
That was pretty cool.
At the end, you clear the level, and he goes, meow.
How was that
It's
again,
like,
Dave?
meow. Anyway,
Pretty good.
the
Perfect.
only link I got is this new School of Motion class.
Yeah.
Illustration
Motion.
promotion.
Yeah. So they're Sarah Beth Morgan is going to be the teacher for it. It's a new class that they've got coming out here soon, I believe. Registration for the course will open on October 7th. So pretty cool. I'm super excited about that.
Cool. All right. The moment you've been waiting for.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
There's actually one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maxon just on their page, on their news page or whatever, it's Unreal Engine. So Cinema 4D now supported natively in Unreal Engine.
That was put up on our page.
Yeah.
Boy,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So like you can
we're waiting
actually
for this one.
Yeah. So you can import .c4d files
Nice.
directly into Unreal Engine. That's super rad.
Changer.
Because you could do
Yeah,
that with Unity before, but not Unreal. So
Right.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's super rad.
Yeah.
I need to work
No.
with Unreal. I like Unreal. I like both those engines. I just have to redshift. I have to learn. I like all the things to learn.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like I was
Cyberbrain
saying.
is going to help.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Neuralink is going to help.
I know Redshift.
I know. Show me.
Show me. All right, so the moment you've been waiting for, Matthias, we're gonna do a little Beeple's People here.
People's people, and
Yeah.
then I can go load the truck.
Yeah.
And you can
Well,
come
Beeple's People and Mograph recommends, and we're out of here. So
All right.
I'm gonna take that opportunity to run to the restroom.
I wish you would. Take out your Beeple viewer of choice. For me, that's Twitter, and look up the old Beeple account. What is that on Twitter? Is it Beeple or is it Beeple crap? I don't remember. Beeple. There's Beeple and there's Beeple _crap. So let's see. It's just Beeple. So go to
Not as
July.
Twitter.
Yeah, Beeple's Twitter, July 15th, Year of Our Lord 2019. And this one, I wish Matt were here, but this to continue our theme, this one is called Beyond Meat. And I'll bring that up. It's, Beyond. It's Beyond Burger, right?
Oh,
Beyond
nice.
Meat? I don't know. But I thought this was interesting because last week we were bringing up this one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We're bringing up this one where they were constructing. Oh yeah. Organic testosterone milking day last week, and we were noticing that there are these pigs down here. We were trying to understand the purpose of the pigs. I don't know if this is a new theme. We might have to ask people in person next week what's going on with this, but the presence of animals around the tech, I thought is interesting.
Well, this is all because of what happens in the post-vegan wars. So
yes.
in the near future, there is a catastrophic war between, the carnivores and vegetarians. And this is in that post era as vegetarians seek to defend, the herds of animals. So in the post vegan wars of the late 20th, 21st century, we go into some major tech battles of humanity where, the Matrix kind of took off of that whole theme with blocking out the sun, so all vegetation dies because they wanted to kill off the vegetarians. But in this scenario, vegetarians don mech suits to protect the animals.
Oh.
I'm not sure if you saw his Instagram story that came along with this.
No.
But so this one in particular, I think you might be a little off because on the Instagram story that went along with this, he did a close-up of the cow with a speech bubble that says, "I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?"
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
Well, the whole thing is the cows are kind of in Stockholm syndrome, so
Gotcha.
they're
Okay.
used to being taken advantage of.
Okay.
And so
maybe this is a portable milking machine, right? So instead of for creating happy cows, they are they are free range
voluntarily-
cows,
they voluntarily
right?
go.
And
for
so
milking.
like he's got like his fingers turned into milking tubes that milk the udders of the cows.
Yeah, see, but Matt,
Very very friendly looking.
but while you were in the restroom, we were talking about, there were the pigs and the organic testosterone milking day one.
Right.
And so
Right.
there's that. And then this is also called Beyond Meat. So this is the theme
Right.
with the Beyond. I'm wondering if these are
Gotcha,
actually
okay.
mechanical cows, but somehow they're able to
Oh.
do the Beyond Burger around the mechanics. So they look like cows.
They're actually mobile greenhouses,
Yeah.
and they actually
Gotcha.
develop all the plant material,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
you kill them off and make Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And instead of expelling methane, they're absorbing it.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't we just make cows that do that?
I don't know.
Because science,
Because reasons.
because Elon Musk hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
Come on,
right.
Elon.
He's our Dr. Doom, and Doom
Right.
we trust.
All right, the next one is going to be July 16th. This is called Snailpocalypse.
This
Yeah.
I 100% believe this is going to happen.
Probably.
Mhm.
It seems,
Yeah.
pretty reasonable
Plausible.
that it would. It's
Yeah.
plausible.
And it starts off in the sea, so who knows what's in there?
Can
Right?
snails swim?
Well, they can attach themselves to just about anything.
I sure
Yeah.
hope that's not salt water.
Ooh,
Ah,
that'd be bad.
Yeah,
wow. So
maybe that's their. It looks like. I mean, maybe it's riding on the boat.
the one back there isn't. There's another one back there. It's,
I don't know, but like.
Oh,
there's-
they become
yeah, maybe.
saltwater. That's what happens. They mutate and become saltwater,
Oh,
friendly.
That's
And
all they're
how
waiting
that's
for.
how it ends. That's how it
Right.
ends. That's like
I
cats
mean-
with opposable thumbs. That's it. That's all
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. Okay.
they are
Yeah.
slowly mutating.
It takes.
I wonder how
We're gonna
Slowly.
take over the world.
There's people on the
really
boat.
Slowly.
The people on that ship right there have just been standing there for hours like, it's coming right at us.
No.
Still going. Anyway.
Just move out of the way.
Yeah. All right. And then the next one is called The True Lion King, or True Lion King. That's the name of this one. This is there's some really funny ones. I don't know what's going on with the old Buzz Meat Year, but that's a
You
good-
should mention the event that he's doing in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Super
Yeah.
excited to announce a gallery exhibit opening next month that will feature all 4,000 plus everydays from the first 12 years on one wall. Opening reception
Insane.
August 23rd. Free prints, free drinks. Come say hi. beeple.eventbrite.ca. And he calls it an effing S-load of crappy pictures on one wall, but he doesn't abbreviate it like I do.
Yeah.
All right. The last one is going to be July 21st. That's my brother's birthday.
Hi.
True Lion King. And I think this fits pretty much along the lines of our existing story of worshiping the skeletons. Seems like it. And it's got a good theme because of the Lion King and such, which we haven't talked about. I don't know if you want to get into that or maybe wait till later to talk about the Lion King, but
The Lion King? Yeah, I don't care about that.
yeah. I'm not
Great
I
VFX.
have no interest.
yeah. Yeah, I keep hearing great VFX, not a great story. But not the
Yeah.
story in general, but just the redo. Yeah. Anyway, I guess they're worshiping. Was this a lion? This wasn't a lion because lions don't have necks like that.
Or was it?
Or what?
And that was what made it the king of the lions, because
Yeah.
it was shaped like a velociraptor.
The
Yeah.
king of the lions is actually a saber-toothed tiger,
I mean, look at all the skulls around it.
right?
Yeah, it dominated.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah.
Looks like this is some sort of tomb or something too, you know. So
We need to get someone to take that skeleton and recreate it, like the Discovery Channel, and see what type of lion that
Right.
would be.
Oh, right.
Some
Yeah.
forensics.
Let's reverse engineer that. Can
Yeah.
one of our modelers get on that, please?
Yeah.
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 yeah,
It would be great exposure.
yeah. Of course it will.
That's funny.
All right. Well, that wraps up Beeple's People. So let's move on to Mograph recommends, and we have a list of things
Yeah.
that we're going to ask you here. Usually I send this ahead of time. I apologize for not sending you this ahead of time, but I
Great.
think you'll do fine.
That's it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Number one, we were going to ask you, what's your favorite movie?
Infinity War.
Okay.
All right, easy
Followed
enough.
by Endgame. Yep.
Easy enough. And then
Endgame was excellent. It was
Yeah.
just such a good movie.
Infinity War, Endgame as one movie.
Yeah.
The Infinity Endgame.
Yeah.
War.
See,
Infinity
Has it
Infinity
been long enough to where we can actually talk about this?
Yeah.
Or should we not?
No,
I don't know.
We're in a spoiler-free zone at this point. Everybody is just reviewing. It's just reviewing.
Dave, have you even seen it yet?
Did I see? No, I did not. I did not
All right.
because
Well, you need to go. You need to go see it.
Yeah.
Give the money to the mouse. What are you
Right.
doing?
well,
money
it's
to
because
the
I didn't see it in the theater. So
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
still
find
in
a
the theater.
Yeah,
is
find
it still in the
and
theater?
go-
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude. They just re-released it with like a minute and a half of new
Oh,
footage.
I
or
saw
something
Dark
like that. I don't know.
Phoenix.
Well,
Oh,
that's-
I'm sorry.
Why did
Yeah.
you make that decision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody said that was the greatest movie of all time.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Endgame
another
is
topic.
actually- yeah.
Because it's really like now it's like special effects and like cool looking special effects are a dime a dozen. And so now like people are just making these movies with cool special effects and no story. You know?
Yeah.
Endgame is all story.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Enjoy
good.
Endgame.
It's funny,
So-
like it did not go anywhere near where I expected it to go.
And
Like-
that's why it's a good. That's why
Yeah.
it's good writing.
Like I thought the story that I thought was going to happen happened in like the first 20 minutes. You know,
Is that-
done?
so it's like
Ant-Man
all right.
destroys Thanos by going small and going up his butt.
No.
That's what the internet thought was going to
It
happen.
was his ear, not his butt. It was.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Oh no, the internet was real adamant about that theory. Wonder why.
Hmm.
All right. Music. What's your favorite music? And this could be what you like to listen to on a regular basis, or maybe when you're working. And maybe those are the same, maybe they're different.
If I'm working, it's classical. So
I
give
get that a
me
lot.
Bach, Wolfgang Amadeus, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. That's always been my like working music. I can just put that on. When I'm enjoying music, it's a wide range. Pretty much everything but country for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like 80s rock, and I'm just like, oh, it's just an 80s rock day for some reason. I need to listen to White Snake and just Poison, and just like I just for some reason being a
Pour
child
some
of the
sugar
80s.
on me.
Yeah, totally.
Shook up
totally.
ramen.
Some cherry
Shook up
pie.
ramen.
Book of Ramen?
Some-
Pour some shook up ramen.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That's how it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Some cherry pie, all that.
Mhm.
So yeah, 80s rock is like more of a theme. I'll definitely do hip hop. I do like a lot of the older hip hop than some of the mumble rap and stuff of today.
Mumble rap.
I'll listen to pop, and then also a Latin as well, so I'll just turn on like Latin music too. I'm like, my Spanish is not that good, but damn it, it makes me want to dance.
Yeah, yeah.
It does. I'm just like, some bachata, some merengue, some paso doble, salsa. So I love
Some of that Gloria.
So yeah, it's fun.
The rhythm's gonna get you.
It does.
My wife and I have a joke where, like, you know, we try. It's almost like rickrolling the other person, but it's with Gloria Estefan. You know, where I don't know what the song is. Anyway,
Yeah.
so like we'll try and get the other person to accidentally listen to it or surprise them with it. You know, and it's always really funny.
It's always
Yeah.
good.
Come on, check it, baby, do the conga. You know,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just makes me want to play it now. It's Alexa. No, just kidding.
No,
No, stop, Alexa. Okay, we're good.
I had to unplug mine because you were making mine go off so often.
Sorry.
As far as modern artists, I really like The Weeknd and like John Legend. So for more of the smooth, sexy sounds.
I like The Weeknd. It's pretty good. All right. Next is favorite TV show.
Ooh, favorite TV show. Oh, it's gonna like a lot of it is more anime.
Okay.
So I love me some One Punch Man.
I was gonna say One Punch Man. I've heard good stuff about that.
I love One Punch Man. So Saitama is one of my favorites. Like it's not currently running, but Full Metal Alchemist is probably one of my favorite of all time. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Those were two big ones. Basilisk was a short series. It was one, but it's one of my all-time favorite. I think that might be on Hulu. But really good. So most of mine are actually anime because I feel that they touch on a lot of really deep topics, but are presented really well and accessible and fun.
Kevin Rupp says, I will never stop talking about Breaking Bad or The Wire. It's a Family Guy joke.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Podcasts. Do you listen to any podcasts on the reg, or are you too busy?
Unfortunately, I don't. Most of the time that I spend, I'm listening to audiobooks. So my favorite podcast is audible.com. My collection of all the countless books that I read when I'm on the road.
Maybe a little Gary V. Do you ever listen or watch any of the things he puts out?
No, I listened to his book. You know, I listened to his book. But aside from that, no, I have a long lineup of books that I listen to from a number of different folks. Probably one book that I listen to the most consistently on repeat is The Master Key System. That's one I strongly recommend. And by Charles F. Hannell, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then constantly on repeat is Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Mind by Wayne Dyer, which is his interpretation of the Tao Te Ching. So really deep stuff. It's really
Think
good.
and Grow Rich. I have read Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It was good. I don't remember it now.
Yeah,
I remember enjoying it at the time. It was like required reading in my at the Art Institute when I was there.
Oh, nice.
Like,
Good
all right.
Good for them.
Is it similar to Rich Dad Poor Dad or whatever that is?
It has concepts of what successful people do differently than successful money people, I should say.
All right, and now plug-in. Favorite plug-in?
X Particles, probably.
Cool.
Probably X Particles. Between X Particle, well, Redshift is just Redshift now, so that's not a right. So it's really X Particles. So I feel with X Particles and what they're doing, and with Cinema and Redshift, you can have a full VFX pipeline. Which is amazing, because before it was like, okay, using turbulence for smoke fire and this and that, and still, great plugin. But now, like, X Particles has just done such a great job of like adding so much more value in there.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to stay within Cinema for all of that too.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. The Cinema pipeline, it still has that feel. That's what I like about X Particles, is it feels like you're still working with what you know, and at least what I know and love.
It's kind of a theme in my presentation. So.
Oh
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Headphones. What do you recommend for headphones?
Well, I'm rocking my, Maxon's finest right here.
Oh, it's the Cinema 4D.
I have a whole box full of them. I'm sorry, but they're the most painful headphones I've ever worn in my life.
You need to change your ears, buddy.
Yeah.
Talk to Elon about that.
You're wearing them wrong. Yeah.
Stop putting them where Ant-Man goes, and maybe
Right.
yeah.
Favorite. Okay, we used to have favorite website or Chrome extension. We're changing this now to your favorite app. What's your go-to app on your phone?
Oh my goodness.
Like the one that is like muscle memory. You open your phone and you're always opening it.
Good Lord. I open so many dang apps.
And it could
know,
I've
be.
seen
It
your-
could be
I've seen
website
your
or Chrome
Chrome
extension.
bar.
Oh man.
You've seen my
Your
Chrome.
tabs.
Okay, so if it's Chrome, I really like Loom.
Okay. What's Loom?
Loom allows you to do video recording. So it does
Oh.
video recording. It can record your desktop. So that's what I've been using for feedback for a lot of artists.
Oh,
So I can
nice.
just hit record. It's totally free, and then it archives all of your different recordings. So
Oh,
if
no
you're looking
way.
at Camtasia and everything else, you can edit. It's a really great app. So I
Okay.
like that one a lot.
That's
Nimbus
cool.
is another great one for screenshots. So if you're doing screenshots and you want to take a whole page that actually scrolls down, where you have to scroll down,
Mm.
it can actually
Really?
So Nimbus is the name of that one. So it does a number of different ways of screenshots. So those are those two. On my phone, something really simple is probably just talking to Siri, because I have a very good personal
Really?
relationship with Siri.
You
I know
do.
other people
Yeah.
don't. But
Yeah.
me and Siri, we get along great. But I think actually probably what I open up surprisingly is an app called, well, I actually open up probably Thinkorswim because I do a lot of trading. So for trading, that's what I open up. But Daily Stoic is what I open up. It's pretty much daily, which is just a quote from Stoicism. A lot of Marcus Aurelius, quotes of the day that just help me keep my mind balanced and things like that. So between that and Thinkorswim are probably my most opened apps.
I think
Cool, man.
I can definitely tell that you use the speech to text a lot on the phone. I'll get a text from you. It'd be like,
Yeah.
make sure you email me that pepperoni.
Yeah,
I'm like,
You know what's
okay.
up.
I use my context
Yeah, okay.
clues and figure that out.
Pepperoni on its way.
Yeah. Incoming pepperoni. All right, now this is the last one. This is the hardest one for most people here. But I don't know. I feel like I feel good
like
about you. You got
this.
this.
You got this.
And this is what is your favorite life hack?
Oh, favorite life hack.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's earning my shower.
Why did you have to say that? Casey Hubkey a few weeks ago or whatever, he talked about that you mentioned earning your shower.
Okay.
And so that has been in my head nonstop
Mm-hmm.
every time I think, oh, I should work out right now. And I don't.
Yeah, you told me you do a lot
I'm
of
like,
working
you need to
out
earn your
with,
shower.
like-
Oh, you need to earn it.
Yeah, you use walls and stuff to work out on, and like all like
Well,
yeah.
just really simple. It's that, and then salad. I found out is like a life hack. Literally, salad is a life hack. I just pretty much eat it for lunch, and my body just it helps you just whatever you eat, just eat more salad. There's a book called Eat to Live. And Dr. Furman wrote it, and he's like, okay, if you're eating meat, you're eating all these other things, but if you just make like salad 90% of your meals, your body's going to be in great condition because the fiber and everything else helps clear you out. It keeps your whole gut health and everything there. I was like, what? And I did that, and I was like, oh my goodness. Salad? That's it? Like the answer was salad this whole time?
I feel like
You got to be
I feel like
specific.
sometimes
Little bit of
salads,
dressing.
like you can get a 2,000 calorie
Right, I was
salad.
gonna say my
Most of that
salads
is
have cheese
dressing.
and ham and yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so that's like a ham salad. That's not a salad. Okay,
yeah.
salad
It's
is
ham
more
with
to-
lettuce.
And
My salad is made of bread and has sauce on it and cheese and sometimes pepperonis.
Beyond salad.
Yeah.
Beyond-
There you go,
I put salad on my pizza, so
dude.
therefore.
If somebody
pizza
could make
salad.
Beyond Pizza, oh man,
So so earning my shower and salad. So that's one of the things. I used to work out. It'd be like an hour and a half in the gym. Going to and from the gym and everything. And then I think I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and somebody was like, okay, yeah, in order to really stay in shape, you can tear up your muscles a whole bunch and pump iron, or you could just consistently do stuff. And I was like, oh, really? And I was like, all right, let me just find a couple of exercises. So it's literally pull-ups, push-ups, squats, and abs.
Where do you
I,
do pull-ups at?
I got a pull-up bar in my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
So
you carry that? Do you bring that with you everywhere you go?
no, but most of the hotels have a
Okay.
gym, so I do that. And if not, I'll just do other more push-ups or whatever, and then I'll just do harder push-ups and things. So I found that is like it keeps the body, and I do it first thing in the morning. So it's like before my shower, and my workouts are never more than 10 minutes. And then at the office, we have like a dip bar or something in the warehouse. So I'll just do that when I go to the bathroom. I'll just do like 25 and then just like,
You got to
it.
earn your bathroom break.
Yeah, bathroom break. So those little things, instead of me taking
That
2
could
hours.
be dangerous.
Yeah, for you, you'll be jacked. Oh, man.
Oh man, how well does that say that you know me that well? Oh man, that's funny.
That's my life hack, is earning your shower.
That's good.
So push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. What else?
Squats.
Squats. Okay. All right.
All right.
Working all the major muscles.
Just, give yourself 5 minutes and just knock those out. And I just do like
So,
one
do
day.
do you get up and immediately do those things? Like you roll out of bed and just start like doing push-ups?
I get up,
or
and I fall to the floor like Batman, and then just start. No, I've done that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So no. So I get.
Or
up
do you like wake up first?
Yeah, I do a little meditation. I drink some water. I actually do some breath work. So breath of fire is one of the things that I do to help oxygenate the body. And then after that, then I go into my push-ups.
How many push-ups do you do?
Usually like 50 at a time at an angle. So that's it. Just like
feet
my
up.
feet on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other
so
thing I've been
hard.
looking at is the different ways to do them. What like the Avengers, what people are using in Hollywood to get into shape. So instead of just like doing push-ups, it's like doing push-ups so your hands are like more further in front, so work the upper chest, so your chest looks wider.
Gotcha.
Because I was like, why do we work out? It's like to look a certain way. No one I'm not gonna really need to move 300 pounds ever. Like
Right.
the only thing I want to look like just everybody just wants to have the look, right? I mean, people go through surgery to have the look. So I'm like, okay, what are the exercises that make my chest and shoulders look wide? I'll do those, and that's it. So I'm just doing like some of those Hollywood little hacks there.
Cool.
I got a list of foods that made my chest wide.
Yeah.
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 Just trying to do the Captain America thing. That's right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's gonna be fun at Camp Mograph because you join Casey every morning in the yeah.
Earn our showers, earn our dive in the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little cold for that.
Oh
but,
yeah, it is.
All right.
That's perfect. Ice baths are good for you.
Yeah. See. All right.
Thanks, Nick Campbell.
Oh yeah, he does that too, right?
Yeah. Takes the cold showers.
Do that too.
Yeah. That's who is that? That's that one guy.
Iceman.
Who's the guy that does the he has that whole book. He has that whole book. It's talking about
it's the Winhoff method.
Yeah, but there's gosh, I wish I could remember his name right now. I read his book and I don't remember. It's really weird because he has this entire book that's about fitness and achieving your goals, but then there's like 2 chapters about how to please a lady. And it's so random. And I'm like, why is this in this book? Just chapter 10 is just completely off the wall. And then it's back to like productivity.
It's like one of those. It's like when the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck sent the script, and there was that like highly sexual scene in it in what was it in Good Will Hunting, just to see if anyone actually read it, But that's what the publisher, that's what the person who wrote the book did and sent it to the publisher, but forgot to take it out to make sure that they read it.
Oh man.
Yeah, you just save it for another book. You just say, hey, and in my other book, I teach you how to please a lady.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up on Audible right now. it's Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, I was going to say the 4-Hour Workweek guy.
Yes, it's called The 4-Hour Body. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So random.
Yeah, he does a lot of random things, though.
Yeah.
He's an living experiment. I like a lot of what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
So yeah, that's a whole different book for me. It's not in my 5 most important things. I talk about communication and relationship. If you're looking for technique, that's a whole different book.
That's funny.
Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here, man. We really appreciate you being on. We know you got to go load the truck, and
Yeah.
we got to send you
man.
more gear to
Oh,
put on the
See you
truck.
next this week, Friday.
Yeah, I'll see,
Yeah.
see you in a couple
man.
days, gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah.
Great time.
Yeah.
And hello, community, all you true believers. Thank you for all that you do. So I can't wait to see you guys all at SIGGRAPH and the upcoming motion design tour, and yeah, anywhere I catch you. So please come say hello.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, you can rate us on iTunes, leave a review, you can subscribe. That helps get our ratings up. We're also on Spotify now if you want to ditch your
Yay.
old iTunes. And you can subscribe to our newsletter on the site. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb, Feel the Bab 2020 shirt, all the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders, and the Render Things hoodie, long sleeve shirt, and tee. And then, of course, That Render is Fire shirt, which I will be sporting for my presentation this in a couple weeks. So
funny.
that'll be fun. And we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, mograph.com. And that about wraps it up. So
Awesome.
Reviews.
Or MathiasOmotola.com too, is if you want to follow me for other rantings and general information about life hacks and things.
sweet.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Until next week, I'm Dave.
Now, Matt.
I'm Matthias.
Have a good one.
Later,
Ciao.
yo.
All right. Stand by, y'all. We're still live. Dun, dun, dun.
Want me to stop the recording and send it?
Yes,
Yeah, you can do that.
absolutely.